What did we have to do to get to this point where I could ride this trike in this video? Well, I had a lot of work to do, actually, so why don't we go over that? First up is the exhaust. Mounting the exhaust was fairly straightforward. I simply cut the muffler and exhaust pipe off of the flange from my Predator Hemi. And then this is a restriction, it still has some of the old pipe in there. So I'm just going to grind that out with a carbide burr. So I made a 180 bend on this and kind of eyeballed where I needed to cut it and at what angle. I then tack welded this thing to the flange. I tightened down the bolts pretty heavily. Okay, so I actually had to cut off my exhaust here because it was hitting the chain. I didn't have the chain on it because I had the wrong sprocket. Now that everything's lined up and the chain is nice and tight, it was going to rub real hard on that exhaust. So we're just going to cut it and splice it back together and then make a couple other adjustments. Now, this is a muffler that I made out of junk that I had laying around the house and some muffler packing slash like silencer material that I found on eBay for $11 shipped. I don't know if this muffler is going to work that good, so I'm not going to show you how I made this muffler. If it turns out to work worth a darn, then sure, I'll show you how I made a muffler. But the one I'm going to show you is going to look better than this. So now we need a couple of other major things. We need throttle and we need brakes. So my original idea was not going to be a brake pedal for the brakes, but it looks cool. It's rat rod-ish, right? So I decided to give it a try. I'll show you how I made the brake pedal itself first. So I essentially have a lopsided boomerang, 2 holes drilled in it. I have 2 identical ones of these, roughly cut. I wish I had a laser cutter, but I don't. And so, how does this go? I'm gonna have this go on here. I have some Torrington bearings between each of them. So little, you can't see that, but little rollers. Like that. And I don't know where any of the nuts that I have for these bolts are, but essentially, that's going to be my brake lever. So, and then I cut a little brake pedal thing, which I will mount here, and we'll have us a nice brake pedal thing. I don't know. Alright, this is our brake assembly, which needs to be redone, by the way. We have the pedal, that's our weird boomerang. Comes to a linkage here. Nothing's finish welded, by the way. It goes through the frame rail to the other side. On the other side, it connects to a linkage here. A linkage on the master cylinder, which has, I don't know if you can see, a little guide plate. I haven't taken the zip tie off yet. And then that goes to the caliper, obviously. Now, onto the caliper. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not gonna be pretty. I'm just gonna cut up some bed frames and make a quick bracket for the actual caliper itself. So that's it. It's not pretty. That's fine. For now, we just need to drive it. Otherwise, I'm never gonna finish it because I don't get any gratification from anything. I'm just here building because I'm bored. If I don't get any sort of gratification for that, then I'm obviously not gonna want to finish what I'm doing, right? Don't know if that's how you are, but that's how I am. Now we also need throttle. This is also one of my shortcomings. I forgot to order a throttle cable. It's gonna have the little twisty thing on the handlebar. Got lazy because they don't really widely make them in 1-inch handlebars. It seems like everything's 7/8. I finally did find a 1-inch one, by the way, but for now, so I can drive it again, because otherwise I won't finish it, we're gonna make something real ghetto. So, hear me out. I have this bike, and I got the front tire off of it. Clearly I don't need the front brake on this thing for whatever I'm going to build. The brake operates off of a cable, right? So I took that off. I've mounted the cable through here using the conduit holder and that little nut with a screw through it. And here we have an old set of handlebars from a frozen bike that I found in the desert. Kind of not good anymore, as you can see. It kind of came apart. Now I do end up modifying this pedal quite a bit because the foot position wasn't comfortable. That little thing that I just welded right there, absolute garbage. It bends easily. So I ended up taking some leftover 1-inch round steel tubing and welding that in its place. Wouldn't you know, it works beautifully. So that's it. That's everything. All I have left to do is put some gas in the tank, route some fuel hose, which I already did, and you don't need to see that, and I filled it with fresh oil. Now, cheap oil, because I'm going to change this after 3 hours of use for the break-in period. But now that all that's buttoned up, we're gonna go and we're gonna start this thing for the first time. So let's go. Oops. I forgot to put the oil thing back on. Alright, let's try that a little bit less like a dumbass. Obviously the trike wants to kind of roll over whenever you turn sharp right. Just don't turn sharp right. Don't have any emergencies and it's fine, right? You're good to go. Alright, so that's it. We're going to call it there. No more for today. Anything else goes into another video. So, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You be good while I'm gone, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week.